Welcome back. Who would have thunk it? Landry Jones leading the Steelers to win over the Arizona Cardinals. That might have been the surprise of Week 6. So, Big Ben Roethlisberger was limited for a second consecutive practice Thursday as he recovers from that knee injury. And the chances of Jones making his first NFL start this weekend looking pretty good. So, Stephen A. Smith, can Jones lead your Steelers to another win?
Yes, he can, because I don't think he's required to do much against these Kansas City Chiefs. No disrespect, but we all know they've underachieved, primarily due to a bevy of injuries. They rank 25th defensively. I think they rank about 30th against the pass. Obviously, that's going to help Landry Jones. You still got Wheaton and Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown. You got Heath Miller. You've got Le'Veon Bell coming out of the backfield. You can dip and dunk to him. He's got a backup in D'Angelo Williams, although there's some questions on the offensive line. I think Landry Jones will be just fine. Not to mention the fact that in order for Kansas City to win, they're going to have to score points. Skip Bayless, they rank like 28th in passing offense.
Yep.
They've got their leading receivers, Jeremy Maclin, over 500 yards, but he's only got 1 TD. They've only got 6 pass TDs on the season, and Alex Smith, Mr. Pedestrian himself, he never drives, meaning drives you to touchdowns.
Yep.
This dude rarely does anything in that regard. I just don't think that they're going to be able to put up enough points, and as a result, the Steelers will win. It'll be a close-fought game, but I'm still going to pick the Steelers to win this 23 to 16.
I'm with you on this one. I told you on Monday I wasn't sure that Landry Jones could go to Arrowhead and win this game for your Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I started to look at the 1-5 Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid slipping onto the hot seat. I'm just not sure he can survive this year after what's happened in previous years there. Stephen A., Alex Smith has the second worst QBR among starting NFL quarterbacks to Sam Bradford. So I'm with you. When you don't have Jamal Charles, Macklin's been hurt, but he's supposed to come back. I'm just not sure you have enough firepower, but I'm here to tell you again, Landry Jones, another guy I watched every snap at the University of Oklahoma, is no savior. He had a nice moment the other day because it was blissful ignorance. He got thrown into the game when least expected, and he performed very well. I'm not sure that will happen this time, and that pass rush of Kansas City's will cause him some problems, but I'm with you. It's going to be a heavy dose of handing the ball to Le'Veon, to D'Angelo, and they'll try to get out with a close, hard-fought, defensive sort of battle, and I'm with you. I'll go with your score. It'll be in that 23 to 16 sort of range.
And I don't think you remember, they don't have Jamal Charles. He's out, so you don't really have much of a running game. You got to rely on Nile Davis and Jeremy Maclin. But more importantly, Skip, I don't know if this will be the last year for Andy Reid. You've got a lot of injuries. It's not a good start. We understand that. I think if it's going to cost him, it's the faith that he placed in Alex Smith. But nevertheless, an 11-5 season in his first year, even though that was a bad way to lose a playoff game to Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts a couple of years back. But then the 9-7 finish last year.
Yep.
I think that they'll allow him to come back next year.
Yeah, but if you look back to his last couple of years in Philly, in these years, and you add it up, and it's not very good.
All right, so both you guys picking the Steelers. Let's move on. Coming up after the break, Mary J. Blige has a message for Stephen A. Smith. You have to stick around for this. I'm definitely going to stick around for this. Yeah.
This is
Mary J.
Welcome back. Look who's tweeting the show, the one and only Mary J. Blige. Actually, she tweeted Stephen A. Smith, and she said, "Whoa, be careful. You don't hurt yourself. You're really allowing the Dallas Cowboys fans to upset you." In case you missed it, Stephen A. Smith was all up in arms and heated with Skip and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys fans. Stephen A., Mary J. Blige tweeting you.
I'm going to step back. The Queen has spoken. She told me to calm down. I'm going to calm down.
So that's what it takes.
I love me some Mary J. But I love you, girl. She's getting ready to go on tour. We got to find out where the tour is. We got to support her, Skip. You do understand this is the Queen, right? You do understand that, right?
Mm-hmm. I love Mary J. Blige. What do you think,
Stephen A. Smith?
Just saying.
Cowboy fans are everywhere, including in your head. I think they might have gotten in the Queen's head here. I don't know. I think she's starting to wonder. They're everywhere. They are America's team. They are omnipresent and ubiquitous. They are everywhere, and you can't stop them. And you will not be able to stop my Cowboys on Sunday at your Giants.
I don't know.
But she's not asking me to stop them. The Queen has spoken. And what she essentially is telling me to do, rather than get upset and nauseated about them, go back to laughing at them and their losing tendencies. I'm going to defer to the Queen. I ain't got to say nothing. The Queen, Mary J. Blige, has spoken.
Wow.
I love you too, girl.
That's what
I
it
love
takes
you
for him
too.
to quiet down? I love it.
Got
For
nothing
Stephen A.
to say.
Smith and
Mary J.
Skip,
Blige
I'm
just
Prince
tweeted
Have
me.
a wonderful weekend.
You're watching First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
How do you disrupt Eli Manning on an offense?
Hit him in the mouth. The best thing for any team is to make a quarterback feel pain. You know, you got to be respectful of the other rules of the game, and honestly, you don't want to hurt anybody, but to make him feel you is to bring his eyes down, man. You don't want a good quarterback like Eli Manning looking down the field, ever, 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 ever.
Greg Hardy's talking again. Last time he talked, the Cowboys weren't able to back it up with their loss to the Patriots 30-6. Should Hardy quit talking, gentlemen? Who's going here?
Stephen A.
Stephen A. Should he be quiet?
Actually, I don't think he should.
Oh.
To be quite honest with
Tell
you,
me why.
I have to admit to you, you know, I consider it as disgusting as it may be. I would tell you that his words are working effectively because considering his obviously checkered past, where he was on the commissioner's exempt list after being convicted on a bench trial in North Carolina, which was because of domestic violence, ultimately appealed it, and then there was no jury trial and the case was dropped. He was still on the commissioner's exempt list, got paid over $13 million for playing just one game, then got suspended for 10 games, got it reduced to 4, missed the first 4 games, and then came back. And as much as he annoyed and disgusted everybody, bringing up Tom Brady's wife Giselle and, you know, his sister and all of this other stuff, we found ourselves, because of it, locking in on Greg Hardy to see how he played. Now he says this again about Eli, which obviously made sense because he elaborated by saying you don't want him looking downfield. You want his eyes down because he's hearing footsteps. You remember, even though the Giants have only given up 7 sacks this year, which is pretty damn good, fewest in the NFC, by the way, the flip side is they just gave up 3 sacks on Eli Manning this past Monday. He got hit 7 times. He had to dump the ball on several other occasions. So if you're Greg Hardy, you want to let him know you're coming. You want everybody to know you're coming because you're preoccupying folks with your game and your intention. And I think in that regard, it's kind of slick and shrewd on his part.
Okay. You know what? That is an interesting, intriguing, insightful between-the-lines take, as opposed to I'm rooting for the Mets to motivate my Yankees, which I'm not buying.
Oh,
but on this count, well,
it's the truth.
Seriously.
It's the truth.
Yeah, it's not true. But on this point, you're probably right about that. Now, I'm on record here. I have little to no regard for Greg Hardy as a person, and I've been detailed about that. But now we're talking about football. As long as he confines his trash talk to the football field, I'm okay with it because my take on him is that's how he motivates himself. He fuels himself by talking big on a Wednesday and having to back it up on a Sunday. And at least for a half against the great Tom Brady, I thought he backed it up. He was talking about flashing on your TV screen. He flashed all over my TV screen, and I'm happy, at least this Sunday, he will be flashing on my TV screen at Giant Stadium, and I am now sitting next to the biggest Eli Manning fan in the history of fandom right here.
Monday. I can't wait
You're
when they
going to
win.
wear his jersey, she says, on Monday when they win, which means you will not be wearing his jersey on Monday. But I'm sure you were offended by this hit him in the mouth kind of talk, but that's just
weak
typical.
people need to do that. They need to build themselves up. Other people don't need that
Weak
kind of
people
motivation.
Need to do that.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, I don't think he
I
qualifies
will
as
be
a weak
objective.
person.
I'm kidding. The last time Greg Hardy did face Eli, though, he sacked him 3 times.
You do have a reason to be concerned.
I do.
Because it's not like he's lying. I mean, you got to remember, Skip, not only can he get to the quarterback, the reason why he's in a position to talk smack is because it's not like Eli can hit him back. Even if Eli gets the ball off, that doesn't mean that Greg Hardy's not going to hit him.
Correct.
So if there's ever an individual that can talk, it's a defensive lineman because he gets to come at you. And you got to pray that Flowers protects you and doesn't give up a sack like he did Monday night against the Eagles.
Aha. So both of you are very worried for Sunday's game.
No, I'm not. See you Monday after they win. Can't wait. Be there. The Cavs finally lock up Tristan Thompson, so they shouldn't be as worried, to a 5-year deal, and he shows his pride on IG last night. So can the Cavs big man live up to those big dollars? Skip and Stephen A. will get into that on the other side of the break.